So you can take a place that feels like rest to you, whether it's on your back or on your side. One suggestion would be this constructive rest pose. Arms can cross the body or touch the body. And it's really vital to rest. It's really vital. Two things that I forget often is that it's okay to rest, and it's also okay to find joy when things are really hard. That joy is our right, and especially when things get really hard, we have to hang on to joy, just like crazy. A couple more people coming in. So welcome, Gabrielle. We're just getting started. You can just lie on your back, and you can take your knees bent and your feet on the floor, just like a simple resting shape on your back, or any other resting shape that feels sweet and supportive, like you could really give yourself, even just for 1 minute to deeply rest. 1 minute to just deeply empty your tissues of what they've been carrying and what you've been trying to hold up on your shoulders and on your back, to just let it fall away, even if it's just for a minute, and then you put it back on. But if we could find moments here and there. And then I wanted to share with you a lovely poem while you rest here. It's from Rashini Ray. And she says, "There's a brokenness out of which comes the unbroken, a shatteredness out of which blooms the unshatterable. There's a sorrow beyond all grief which leads to joy, and a fragility out of whose depths emerges strength. There's a hollow space too vast for words, through which we pass with each loss, out of whose darkness we are sanctioned into being. There's a cry deeper than all sound, whose serrated edges cut the heart as we break open to the place inside which is unbreakable and whole, while learning to sing." And so you deeply rest for a few more breaths here and check in and just notice in your own body, where are the places where you tend to grip, where you tend to defend. And if you could soothe them with your breath, soothe them maybe even with some words like, "It's okay, we're okay right now." And then you could start to call yourself back, and maybe you hug your knees in or you roll over to your side like you're just being born again, like a tiny little baby. You curl up like a little rabbit in a patch of high grass, just snuggled in for a moment, and then little by little starting to paw your way, hands on the ground, peel your head up, maybe you look around and you just sort of open your eyes wide and see. We've been playing a lot with panoramic vision. And I was telling class yesterday how I was listening to a neurobiologist talk about how that's one of the best things you can do for your mental well-being, is to have a sense of seeing more around yourself and behind yourself. So come on up to all fours. We'll start there. Oh, actually sit back on your shins for a moment, because we need to mark the sacredness of this time together with an Om. So if you want to put palms to your heart or let them stay on your thighs, you can join me from home if you like. And then you could come to all fours, and you could just start to move your spine around. Try to let it be sort of intuitive and organic, and really not not performative at all, just what you need. Just give yourself the medicine that you need this morning. If you want to start the music, if you wanted to use the playlist, you could. You could always pick any playlist of your own that you want, or none at all works just as well too. And then we're going to take a little thread the needle to start with today, so you can slip your right arm underneath your left. And no hurry. So taking, even if it's one breath of deep rest, that's really powerful. Because I know personally, I can go a whole day without even taking one breath of deep rest. And so, a little bit is better than nothing. While you're here, tuck your toes under. And as you unthread, bring your palms back under your shoulders. Start to walk your way back towards a squat. So just pad your hands back, pick your knees up. Do, as we do, kind of move this one around a little bit. Shake it this way, shake it that way. And we're going to come up little by little with a straight spine. So lift your spine up tall. You bring your hands, maybe let's just bring them today to the heart and interlace them, and just slowly, like an elevator going straight up, start to root down through the feet to stand up tall. Try to go a little bit slower than you want to go. And then when you come all the way up, you can just arrange your feet so they're more underneath you. And then you can take your hands, sorry, I'm getting my camera set up here, right? Take your hands behind you, interlace them. And just take a moment to lift the heart and the chin. And then you can take your hands, bring them to your low back. A little standing back bend. It doesn't have to be a lot. You could even keep some bend in your knees, so there's a sense of lightness about it, a sense of playfulness if possible, or you could still keep that panoramic vision and you might look around yourself. And then come up tall again. Keep your knees really soft still, and just let your chin drop and your shoulders round forward. And we're going to dangle little by little, so just like 1 millimeter at a time. You're going to melt like they're so, like your tissues and your bones and everything is molasses. You could even sway a little bit and kind of rock from side to side to see where any of those sticky spots are, any of those rough spots or defensive spots. And then eventually when you do get down, you can take yourself back into squat for a moment. And then we'll do that all on the other side. So walk your hands out, come back to all fours. Take a moment in your cat-cows here and just sort of organically move your spine. You could move your hands around all the different ways that we often do. Anything goes, really. There's just no bad movement. There isn't. And then you could take your left arm and slide it under the right. And then at least 1 whole breath, if you could, even just 1, of deep rest here. Walk your hands back underneath you, tuck your toes, walk it back to squat. Move it a little bit, knees can swing around. And then we'll come up again, that elevator ride. So lift your hands off the floor, touch your chest. And slowly make your way up to stand. Go slow, go slow. Oh. As you come on up, take your feet underneath you so you feel really steady and grounded. You can take your hands right to your low back, imaginary jean pockets, and 1 more little standing back bend like that, where you kind of look around a little bit and make sure you can breathe and make sure you can feel and see into the back of yourself and behind you and to the sides, and then come up tall. Drop your arms, bend your knees a little more, drop your chin towards the notch in your collarbones, and then slowly you go down. If you feel one of those spots, like it starts to light up like hot lava somewhere in your back, you could stay and take an extra breath there. Eventually, we'll come all the way back down to the squat, but there's no urgency to get there. You can take your time. And we're going to add on to this a little bit, just one time here, and I'll show you. I think we did this a month or two ago, but some of you weren't here, so let me show you this. So we're going to come back to all fours. Just watch for now, and then we'll do it. Going to thread the arm under again. This time, I'm going to kick the opposite leg out. Okay, and you might stay here if this is plenty, or you could really try to walk the shoulder underneath you so that you could fall. Happy baby. Don't worry about where you land. We'll stay there a bit and then pull the knees in together towards the chest. The arms will come over the head so you can roll right back over. Oh, so you may need your hands, or you may try to do it without your hands coming back. We'll just see how it goes, okay? And don't worry, there's options, you know, if you don't want to roll over the shoulder. You can manage, it'll be manageable. So back to all fours, and you'll take your right arm, thread it underneath your left. And you really want to wiggle it. Try to even crawl it way over towards the left. And then kick your left leg over towards your hands. You might grab the ankle or anywhere, or not. You know, you can just kind of bounce around there for a moment and check in what's movable, what's openable. And then you might think about it first. You picture it, because your brain is amazing. Your brain, when you just envision it, your brain already starts to fire up the muscles that need to get you there. So you picture yourself rolling over that right shoulder onto your back, and then you push off the left foot and you do it. Or if not, you just get here to the happy baby. Meet us here any way that it happens. It's hard to take the fall, isn't it? And so enjoy this moment of happy baby. Again, deep rest. Could you find, even just for one whole breath, one moment for yourself? And then take your knees and bring them towards each other and into your chest, arms up by the ears. So you may need your hands here, or maybe not. You're going to roll over your right hip back onto your knees. How'd that work? And then from there, so if you get there, however you get there, onto your knees, walk your fingertips back behind you, and then just a little lift of the pelvis, a little seated back bend here. And then come on back down, come to all fours. Last time to get that movement through the spine, any way, shape, form that you want. You could figure eight, you could move your wrists, anything at all. You could twist it, anything. There's no wrong answer to how to move here. For one more, two more breaths. And then go ahead and take that left arm and thread it under. And really try to reach it over to the right. And then kick your right leg out towards it. Maybe you grab, maybe not, doesn't matter. You could play here a little bit. And then you're going to push off the ball of that right foot to try to just roll yourself backwards. Or you get here somehow, and you find your happy baby. And you might rock it a little bit, and then eventually just let it come to stillness. And take at least a whole breath where you're just so here with yourself. You're so not leaving your body. Make this deep commitment. I will not abandon myself. Hmm. Bring your knees together and your arms overhead. So you're going to roll towards the left, over that left hip onto the shins. Ugh. And I know you might be facing sideways or something, but don't worry about it. Hands behind you, little tip up of the hips, little back bend. And then come on down. And this time you can walk it out into a downward facing dog and give that some time to get warm in there, to move all the moving parts, to stay really present and home with yourself. Go ahead and take a few rolls from down dog into plank and back a couple of times. And then go ahead and you're gonna lift your right leg behind you. Step the foot slowly and wide to the top of the mat. So outside the right hand, you put the back knee down and then just take a moment to let everything sort of settle down. Let all the water of you seek the lowest place. Everything move in the direction of the ground. We're going to do something similar. Some of you were in class yesterday. It's similar, but it's not exactly the same. But this little part here is, so from this lizard position, we're going to build it into a really beautiful geometric pattern triangle pose, like the gorgeous structure of triangle. There's such an elegance about it. So start to think about it first. Again, you turn the brain on, and the brain starts to turn all the parts on that need to move. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Gotta kind of gather yourself in, right? You've been all spread out, so now you gotta pull it in, harness everything from the periphery to the center, and then start to stream your left arm up towards the sky. Anywhere you want to put that right hand, floor, toe, chin, block, it all works. Fly that arm open, maybe even wing it back a little bit so that your heart can really spin up towards the sky. And then from the sort of beautiful alertness and that mathematical almost quality of triangle, we're going to pour back down into a pigeon. So you can let that top arm start to reach overhead, look down towards the floor. Bring both hands down, lift your back heel up, and then take that right leg, pull it in and over to the left side so that you can come down into your pigeon. And then for today, let's take it out on the diagonal over towards the left. So walking out and sending some energy back. And what could be really helpful here is to press your legs down into the ground. Feel how that makes a difference versus not. When you're not pressing your legs down, there's a passivity about it, which isn't terrible. But when you press your legs down, that sends this beautiful message to your brain that says, she's safe here. It's okay. And then your brain does this amazing thing. It makes all these incredible chemicals that it sends to those tissues around your hips, and it makes them really resilient. You get stronger. Press your legs down. One more breath. And then walk your hands back in. As you walk your hands back in, so you have your right leg forward. You could bring your left leg around to the front. So you have left shin crossed in front of right shin. And actually watch this one too. So just for a moment, I have left shin in front, gonna rock back and up onto the knees, crisscross. And then I'm gonna switch, rock back, switch the legs, right shin in front, up onto the knees, and we'll meet there. So try that. So rock back. You got left shin in front to start with. Try and stand up. If you need your hands, use them. And then one more time, rock back. Right shin is in front. Come up to stand on your knees. Stay here this time. And you're going to take your, which one is that? Your left leg. And try to slowly pull it out and step it in front of you like so. And then just sit on your right heel. Almost like a side angle. Put your left hand down inside the foot. Reach your right arm up and over your ear. Take 3 gigantic breaths here. 1 and 2 and 3. As you complete, no rush, but as you finish 3 breaths, take that top arm, the right one. It's going to come circling behind you so that you can lean on it and come to any sort of a back bend here. And then as you come on down from there, you can just walk your way back into downward dog. Put your paws down, send your legs back. And then totally up to you here as far as what you do with this in-between moment. You might take it through plank and into a chaturanga, or you might do anything else that your body asks you to. Maybe it's child's pose, or maybe you just stay in down dog. Maybe you take a handstand. Let's do the other side of that. So lift your left leg up behind you. And take it for a big slow motion. Step through the hands. Make it wide. Inch it over towards the left side and come to lizard. You can put the back knee down and then just thinking about a moment where you can rest here, even in the midst of everything. Right? In the middle of it all, we can make a place for ourselves. And then from there, you can start to build it upwards into the beautiful skyscraper of your triangle pose. And you just make it so elegant and lovely and clear. Clear, and you are so home in every inch of it, bones to skin and back. And let it come alive as you reach that right arm up. Let it come alive in the back of your heart, the back of your waist, the back of your legs. You might even take that top arm and reach it back a little more so there's an energetic spiral up through the chest. And then from there, slowly into your pigeon. Start with the top arm leading the way. It reaches up and over the head, and you look down and you go down. First the hands, and then the back heel lifts, and then eventually you make it into some pigeon that fits you. And you could always gather your pillows and things. And we'll head over towards the right diagonal here. Any amount, it's whatever your body allows for at this time. And then that little extra bonus of pressing leg bones down. Oh, leg bones go down into the earth like you want to bury them under the floorboards. And then your brain gets the beautiful message. It's okay. She's safe here. Let's send her the good stuff and make her super resilient. And then you can start to walk it back in. And you bring that back leg around to the front. So you'll have right ankle crossed in front this time. And you roll back and up onto your knees. And then switch. Go back, cross the left ankle in front. Up onto your knees. That's it. And then it's going to be the right leg. Maybe you can even balance a little bit as you take it out. And slowly bring it out in front of you to step on. Just sit on your left heel. And then find a sort of a Parshva Konasana kind of shape. That's going to turn into a back bend. Your left arm will come behind you. Plant your fingertips on the floor and then lift everything else away. And you can come on down. Take it through a vinyasa, or you can just come right to down dog, but go ahead and step your legs back. And then we'll have another moment after you've rinsed yourself off with your vinyasa. You can lower yourself all the way to the floor and take a full prostration. Just lay your front body out. You could even take your hands and tap them back behind your head in a prayer, or if that's not comfortable, let them stream forward. And while you're here, you can really rest. And I'm going to read something to you from Adrienne Marie Brown. She says, remember your water. Of course you leave salt trails. Of course you're crying. Flow. P.S. If there happens to be a multitude of griefs upon you, individual and collective, or fast and slow, or small and large, add equal parts of these considerations. That the broken heart can cover more territory. That perhaps love can only be as large as grief demands. That grief is the growing up of the heart that bursts boundaries like an old skin or a finished life. That grief is gratitude. That water seeks scale, that even your tears seek the recognition of community. That the heart is a front line and the fight is to feel in a world of distraction. That your grief is a worthwhile use of your time. That your body will feel only as much as it's able to. That the ones you grieve may be grieving you. That the sacred comes from the limitations. That you are excellent at loving. Go ahead and start to crawl your way up to all fours. Tuck your toes under. Actually sit for a moment. Let me show you the last little bit here that we're gonna do. So it looks like the same thing. It'll look the same in the beginning. But when we get to this part of rocking, right, we'll rock back and forth the same way. But when we do that, we're gonna rock up to the knees. Step the foot forward and come right into an Ardha Chandrasana, right? So the half moon will turn into a standing split, which will turn into a one knee down sitting situation here, one hand on the earth, one hand on the heart, calling witness. And then we'll take it back, perhaps, we'll see how it goes, into a Supta Virasana. So if you think that you might need some pillows for that, and I'll give you some ways to do it that also are doable for people who have knee stuff, okay? So start in downward dog. It'll start the same. Remember, you are water. Take your right leg, reach it to the sky, and step it wide into your lizard. And you can put the back knee down and let the water of you just descend and descend and descend. If you want to put your elbows down, please do. If you want to take any other shape here, you could twist towards your front bent knee. You could reach for your back foot. Could you, though, especially if you're a very flexible person, and when you feel that you're just sort of hanging there, again, it's not terrible, but could you press your legs into the floor, press your front foot down, press your back knee and thigh down. Whatever's touching the ground, root it. Root it and send your brain that beautiful message, I'm okay. I'm okay, I'm getting stronger. And then bring it back. It's going to be triangle again, so go slow, build it with care. Get the foundation right. I think, if they were building like the Chrysler building or something, they don't do it haphazardly and quick. It's really deliberate, and the foundation goes first. And that's poured with love and attention, and then you build it from the basement all the way up slowly until you created this beautiful shining thing that's just shining in all directions. You know, it's mathematical, it's geometric, but it's not sharp, it's not rigid. Even a skyscraper has a little bit of sway. And then take that top arm, send it overhead. There begins the invitation, like water again. You can pour your way down into your pigeon. Pick that foot up, slide it over towards the left, sit down. Let's stay here this time. So go ahead and walk your hands back a little bit. Take your back leg, you're gonna bring it around to the front. Take your hands to your heart and just take that leg, hover it in front of you. Turn it out and turn it in. A few times, the knee is bent. Turn the leg out. Turn the leg in. One more time, turn out and turn in. Now, can you, one more time, notice your low back and just have a moment here. Just talk to your low back and say, not you right now, okay? Try to lift up out of it. Try to keep the low back from doing all the work. See if you can make it just about the hip joint here. Turn it out. Harder, right? Turn it in. And then slowly bring it around behind you again. Try, if you can, to keep it hovering and turn it in and straighten it as much as you're able to. You won't be able to do it all the way, probably. But really try to turn it in and see if you can lay the front center of your back thigh down. I know it's almost impossible. So you get a gift after that. You get to just fall forward and you could just snuggle into your pigeon in such a way that fits you, okay? And I know this doesn't feel great to everybody always. So if you need to be here, you could be here. If you need all the pillows in the world, like the Princess and the Pea, you could gather everything. And start to walk it back in. That back leg will come around. So you cross left ankle in front of right and you roll back and right up onto your knees. And then the other way. So as you roll back, switch the cross of the ankles, right ankles in front, stand up on your knees. That's it. And so you're going to take your left leg, slow motion, maybe even a little bit of balance, to step it forward, toes point straight ahead. And then come into your half moon. Put your left hand down, or maybe not. Maybe you balance. And you take an Ardha Chandrasana. And I've loved lately playing in it that you can move, that it's not like this super rigid, stuck thing. The moon is soft and shimmery. So you can check in with your top arm and your top leg. Maybe they have some room to play. Eventually that'll turn into a standing split. So you might notice all the little things, how you shape shift on the way there. What do the hips do? What does the heart do? And eventually you fold over that long left leg and reach your right toes to the sky and just try to send yourself out in all directions. And then that right knee is going to come down right next to your left foot. So you come to a half kneeling position here. You can let your right hand touch the ground and your left hand touch your heart. Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. Calling witness, one breath of rest. Just deeply letting go of tension in your tissues if possible, just for one breath. And then let's see how this goes. Sit off to the inside of your right foot. So you come to have your asana, and here's where you can be the judge of, do I need some pillows and things? Maybe that's plenty. You could even stay really beautiful and just kind of hold yourself up right here with hands around the shin. Maybe there's room that you could go back. If you do, you try to really slide the tail under you nice and long so the low back is roomy. And then you could go back maybe. You just see where you're at little by little. You could play here too with pushing your bones into the floor, the leg bones, and feel how that lights up all the muscles. When the muscles light up, that signal goes up to the brain. Good here. You might go to your back or even hold your elbows over your head. And I know some of you might be very flexible, and if you wanted to, you could hold on around your shin on your back. I mean, that's like to the extreme edge, but some of you might need that. And we'll try to stay on the back. If you need to come up, you can, but perhaps just from here, you could sort of pull out that leg and come to where we started actually, to this constructive rest, or any way you get here. On the back, feet wide, knees fall together. Hands can be on the body or crossing the heart. Deeply, deeply softening. Let your skin get really quiet here. Your face really soft. Take yourself into a bridge setup. So gather the feet in a little closer. Hands by your side, and just a simple bridge. Just peel your pelvis up. You could clasp your hands and rock your shoulders underneath you, or you could hold your ankles or touch your heels if that feels better to you. Trying to keep a sense of things coming in from the edges to the center. And then come slowly down. Hug your knees in. We'll rock a little bit. We're going to make it back to down dog. If you want a vinyasa in between, now would be your chance for that. It'll be the last time we do that. So you could just rock up and keep it simple and step back to down dog, or you could do any sort of jump back chaturanga business that you might be inspired to do. And then lift your left leg from down dog. Lift it up high and step it wide outside your left hand so that you can, one more opportunity to really drop into that lizard. The back knee can come down, maybe the elbows do, but there's no forcing anything, not bullying the body at all, but just bearing witness to what wants to happen here. You could twist, get all the back foot, anything goes, but do it at least for a breath or two. Try that thing of pressing your bones down into the earth. And start to build your beautiful skyscraper, Trikonasana. Take your time. Do it with care. Be the beautiful architect here. Set everything up just the way you want it. Build one piece on top of the other until it really starts to feel like this elegant thing, this beautiful shape that you made just for you. Feel maybe like the moon here, that you could shimmer, that all around you, the whole globe of you is lit up and soft and shining. Take your top arm, send it over your head, start to turn that into your pigeon. Feel all the little in-betweens along the way. And as you do eventually arrive there with the left shin forward, you can sit up tall. You can talk to your low back again. Like, I love that you want to do everything. It's so noble. But let's put you in a nap right now. And then bring the back leg around. I put my hands on the heart just because otherwise they tend to like turn into like weird wicked witch hands. Like leg comes in front. And then you're just going to practice turning in and turning out. It's just such a simple thing, but whoa, turn in, turn out. Is it different on this side? What's your low back doing? Do you need to talk to it again? Do you need to lift up out of your waist a little bit more? The next time you turn the leg in, keep it like that. Start to bring it back around you. Slow motion here. And you're going to try to keep turning it in and see how much you can straighten it back there. Turning it in, turning it in. I know it's a lot. And then eventually, you put it down. And then you get to fold forward, or you flip it around onto your back and you do it here. Little by little, start to walk it back. So the back leg, your right leg will come around, crossing right ankle in front. Roll back and up onto your knees. And back and cross left ankle in front. And then this time it'll be the right foot that steps out straight in front of you, or whichever way, it doesn't matter where you're facing. Half moon, maybe with a little bit of sort of jellyfish-like moving through the underwater ocean. Parts all soft, playful, right? We can still play even when it's hard. We can find loveliness even when things are broken. Go ahead and start to turn it towards your standing leg for some kind of standing split. Doesn't have to be exact or perfect. Eventually that left shin will start to come down next to your right foot. And you can put your left hand on the floor and your right hand on your heart. And this is also Adrienne Maree Brown. She says, I touch my own skin. And it tells me that before there was any harm, there was miracle. I touch my own skin and feel the miracle. And then you could take it where you go with that Supta Virasana. So you could sit off inside your foot. You know, maybe even that's too much, right? And so you could stay kneeling and be there. Okay, otherwise you sit inside, you maybe go back. You can kind of wiggle your tailbone a little longer. And you know, if this doesn't work for anyone's knee, you could always meet us in the bridge. You could do an extra bridge because that's where we're going to go eventually. If you got the room, you go to elbows, or you go to your shoulder blades and hold your own elbows over your head. You could try pressing legs into the earth here. It sort of always works doing that. Any shape that you're in, whatever's touching the ground, you push it down. And it's so good for your tissues, especially your tendons and your ligaments. Makes you really, really resilient. So if you're able to, from here, you would just shift off to the right hip, pull the left leg out. If not, any way you get there, come to this constructive rest where your knees come in and knock to each other. And you touch your body, you touch your miracle skin somewhere. So you could choose if you want to revisit the bridge again. Right? Get the feet under the knees. Either way, feet will come under the knees. If you want to take a wheel, now would be the time you put your paws by your ears and try to, when you go up into wheel, try to lift the chest and the pelvis the same intensity on the way up. We often do one or the other, either like throw the hips up into the air is usually the tendency, or sometimes it's the heart, but try to get everything like almost like taking like a baby would take a big inhale, or a cat takes a big inhale and their whole body inflates. Think about that. That as you go up, your whole body goes up as one, like a balloon inflating. You could do that once, or you could do that twice, or you might even do it 3 times. And there's definitely no hurry. But as you finish your back bend practice, you could come one final time into that constructive rest. You can feel your heartbeat. You might even get your hands. Sometimes it's nice to actually touch your skin. Put your hand under your shirt. Feel your heart. Feel your gut brain down there. Stay on the back. To finish today, you could bring yourself into a Supta Gomukhasana, right knee over left. And just kind of see how it goes. Maybe you can just hold a knee, both knees, or maybe you could move your hands further down the shins. Eventually you might even get to where you're holding the pinky toe sides of the feet, but that's a lot. So anywhere along the way, you're still doing it. So anywhere that it needs to be, and you could rock a little from hip to hip across the low back. Play with moving the knees further away from you or closer towards you. Just see what needs attention, what's asking to be felt, heard. And we will take it into a twist. So you could keep your legs wrapped like that and drop them over to the left, arms coming out like a T or a cactus. But if you need to rearrange the legs, right, that can be a pretty intense twist if you want to unhook them, or if you want to stick a pillow underneath them or between them. Play a little bit. And you could also play with your arm, your right arm, and let it kind of draw some circles around and over your head and open up. You could play with turning it in and turning it out. If you wanted to really work the shoulder joint, you could even hold something like a pillow, or anything. If you have a book nearby, just a little bit of weight on that arm as you open it and move it around. It's so good. So that's that same thing. It's telling your brain that, hey, I'm okay because I can engage. I can take a little bit of load. I can handle a little bit of pressure. So that is so metaphorical too, isn't it? That you put a little load on your tissues, a little bit of pressure, and then it tells your brain that you can get stronger. At some point, though, do just let it be soft and just let yourself rest here. Try at least 1 breath or 2 breaths of deep rest. And start to make your way once again onto your back. Left knee over right this time, Supta Gomukhasana. Holding wherever you're able to hold. And, maybe with time it opens. You don't have to push it. You just sort of let it evolve. A couple of breaths, really gentle. Maybe a couple of breaths, you go a little deeper. Keep your legs crossed if you can. If not, you unhook and drop them over to the right. Let the left arm do a little bit of a dance around. Just explore what happens in that shoulder. You could grab something to hold on to, even like a candle, anything, just a little weight, even if it's a few ounces, it'll do the trick. And eventually let it be really still and just settle. Let your waters clear. Mm. And then you make your way towards Shavasana, so you can decide if you need anything else along the way. Otherwise, you can just unwrap yourself and fall onto your back or turn onto your belly or side. You can always sit. You can choose a seated Shavasana. Shift and wiggle a bit so that you can really allow the weight of your bones to fall. You can let your muscles loosen off of your structure. Let them exhale right off your bones. Feel your breath come in. Notice the breath as the most pure thing. The pure thing that connects you to the trees and the flowers and the grass and the clouds. Bring that in a little deeper with each inhale as you start to call yourself back. You might touch your body again. Feel the miracle of your skin. Feel yourself as a pure thing, just like the clouds and the flowers and the grass. You might roll to your side. Hug your knees in. If you want to stay, please stay. Otherwise, little by little, you can come back. You can touch your heart or your belly or put your hands in a prayer. Thank you.